Else. Ooh.
We out here with the homie Frank.
The big homie.
Less
Secure.
words. Less words, minimum words. You know what I mean? I'm glad 12 months later you do interviews now.
I'm shy, man.
You're not shy, man.
You know I'm shy, man.
Tell me about this you literally like obviously came under like a lot of people. You came in through Mayo, you came through Riky, you know, with Speedsta Riky, and I know you have a history with Leo, with Lion. You're like one of the few guys that's actually who's gotten a cosign that's actually like that's literally getting traction outside the cosign, you know. Firstly, what's the model, what's the move? Because you don't just make moves. What is the plan with Frank? You know, what determines the move that Franks make?
Oh man, you know, I mean, everything that happened from Speedy, from Mayo, everything has been organic. To Riky, it's all real relationships, and everything has been based off music.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we found each other. That's how we got to interact, you know, and furthermore to everything else. So I mean, like, with regards to that, that's what happened, you know. Speedy had heard my music before online, SoundCloud, and there's a song I dropped Source 2015 early in the year, and then I dropped was it the original whole thing. Then after that, then I dropped a song called Pablo. It's before I dropped my mixtape. So Speedy got a hold of Source, right? And he liked it. He hit me up on Twitter. He actually hit up Pretty Ugly, because it's a song I did with him. Then Pretty Ugly referred him to me. And then Speedy asked for the radio edit and stuff. And then I sent through the radio edit, and cool. A few months down the line, I'm getting a call. A few months down the line, can I just put my phone on flight mode for now?
No, old school niggas be like, let me switch it off. niggas is so fly, you know, flight mode. You know?
So yeah, then I released whole thing started picking up whatever on SoundCloud, and Speedy got a hold of it again, and then I don't know, I think he just got it online. I forgot how exactly. He put it on his show, which was dope, and then cool. Few months, like a month later, he got my number and he called me. I think it was a Wednesday evening, somewhere there, saying, yo, I've got this new track that I want to do, you know, I'm shooting to it Monday, I think. You know, I'd like you to jump on it or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, send it through. And I remember at the time, I was thinking to myself, I'm curious, like, how the song's gonna sound, you know? So now I'm basing everything from Speedy's track record, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, at the time, I'm like, okay, I'm just curious to hear it. Then he sent it through. I heard it. It was just the beat that I heard and the hook. And I bumped it like twice. And I was like, okay, this track is actually really sick. It's actually dope. I like it. And then I recorded it, and I sent through like my verse on Thursday. And then he said, okay, cool, let's do it. Monday we're shooting. And then Monday we linked. We shot the video. Tuesday actually, because we postponed it on Monday to Tuesday, and then we shot it, and then that's when I met Speedy, and from
the
there,
rest is history.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that being said, Speedy's been highly instrumental in getting you out there, and I guess that's where your relationship with Speedy really comes from. That's dope. So I mean, you drop Mayo, whole thing comes in. Wait, how do you come across Riky?
So Riky, I hadn't met him, but I knew his photographer, which is a friend of mine that I had worked with earlier in that year. That's how we got to know each other. So he would tell me that, yo, Riky, you know, is saying so and so, you know, but it just, I always think, I mean, if he is, you would say something.
Yeah.
You see? So anyway, it was what it was. Cool, then I think he hit me up the one time. No, we met at Sneak Exchange, one of the Sneak Exchange. And he's like, yo, take my number, call me. So I took his number, but I actually didn't call him. And then he hit me up one of the days. He called me, and I remember, it's like, yo, where you at? So I was with my mom that time, you know, I'm doing admin with my mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'm come through now.
Yeah.
I'm like, right now?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, now, where you at right now? You know, I'm like, yo, man, I'm busy, man. I'm with my mom, you know?
Yeah.
Shit.
But me some kosa, but plastic doing and nigga, no, you just hold the plastic.
I can't do that rapper thing with you right now, man. But anyways, yeah, then my phone was about to die. I told him my phone's gonna die. I'll send you my location as soon as I get home.
Yeah.
You know? And then cool, got home, charged my phone, sent him the location. Then he told me he had a meeting, you know, so he'd come later in the evening or whatever, you know. So he's supposed to come around 10 in the evening. He didn't come. So it's like, yo, he called me, like at like 11, he's like, yo, man, you still awake? Forgot, what was it, the exact conversation. And then he came through at midnight. And then we chilled and then we just kicked it we just kicked it and just spoke about music, discussed music, and then from then on, just kicked it. Yeah. The collaboration with the whole thing didn't happen like immediately. It happened over like a few, like times of bonding. Like we actually kicked it before we got to the song.
Yeah. So for me, this is why, I mean, I've gotten to know you, and the big thing about you, you're literally very, you're very protective of your brand. You know, you're very protective of Frank, of what Frank does. And your key word is always, it has to be organic. You know, that's your story. Why? I mean, I'm sure there's been opportunities you've turned down simply because you feel like it has to be organic. But as an up-and-coming artist, one can say, and this cat is arrogant, right? But I think you're very protective of your brand. So what made you go, I don't want to be like everything and everyone else, and this is what I want to portray? Because even when Riky called you and he said, call me, that sounds like you got the number and you're like, I ain't gonna call him.
Now, it wasn't even like that for me. For me, it's like, you know, I just like respecting everybody else's space.
Yeah.
You know, and I also understand sometimes being in the public or in these spaces, like a lot of things can be said.
Yeah.
You know, and it can.
It don't matter.
It doesn't actually matter. You know.
Environment.
Exactly. You know, so for me, it's like I don't want to take it to head before it becomes a real thing. You see, so that's how it came about.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave it time. I'm like, I didn't even say I'm not gonna call him or like kind of like wait for him to call. I was just like, nah, I don't want to be all up in his grill like that. You know, like asking for like a handout sort of thing. So that's what happened there. You know, and in terms of like the brand or whatever, you know, for me it's like, first and foremost, the important thing is to be true to yourself and remember like why you're doing this, you know, why you wanted to do this, you know. I mean, for me, I've been a fan of hip-hop music for a while and a fan of music for a long time, you know, and all the guys that I looked up to, it didn't seem like a facade, you know. It seemed like it's like that, you know, it's a real thing. You see. And for me, that's how I also want to apply my life. You know, I want my life to be exactly like that. I don't want anything to be a facade, and I don't want to be lying to myself.
Who's some of the people you look up to? Like you came up saying, these are the guys I look up to.
Well, in the earlier days, right, it was just based on how I see things, like the aesthetic of whatever, you know. So I used to like people like the Snoop Dogg's, pretty much everyone from the West Coast, actually, you know. And then over time, Jay-Z started becoming an influence, you know, to me. I didn't understand his music like then, you know, but then I'd watch his interviews and I got to understand what he meant. Then I went back, you know, and then people like Nas has been a favorite of mine like for some time as well. Like Nas, I like the Jay-Z's, you know, I like people like your Diddy, you know. It has to be synchronized. Like how I eventually like someone's music also has to do with their character, you know. Like there's a lot of people who make like dope music, but for me, like it's like everything has to be in line with everything. So if you're making, I need to hear you through your music, and I need to see you.
And it has to be a reflection of the music.
Exactly, everything needs to be interlinked. It can't be like you're making this sort of music, you know, but you're not this sort of person. You know, you don't live by.
That's an interesting thing. I had this conversation with Smash, you know, Smash, like I was saying earlier, and And I said, that's great, because I also feel that that's why there's a lot of cut and paste rappers, because everybody's trying to be and say what that other guy said, you know what I mean? And it's so hard to differentiate the music, you know? When did you start finding your sound though? I saw a video of you with Pretty Ugly, and y'all were like rapping like some, like, y'all were rapping like you came out the streets, you know, you were hungry. And I was like, this nigga raps, this nigga, because you know, like your current songs, you know, from what I picked up, you always, and I can't say you take from anywhere, because you got your own voice, you got your own sound, and you use your voice a lot, you know, like with melodic or whatever. But there you are like, ba ta ba ta ba ta ba ta ba. I mean, would Frank still do that? You know what I mean? Where were you when you were in that type of rap phase?
I mean, I can, you know, I can do it. Like
you're a rapper. You know what I mean?
I'm a rapper, you know, and even like for me, it's like, I don't know, everything that's said, right? Even within the lyrics, how I base my lines, right? It's crucial, like in whatever you say, right? Whatever you say has to be so powerful enough that even if they were to remove the beat and just had to leave like the lyrics by themselves, they have to make sense. You know. So for me, that's always been like something, like in my writing or whatever, you know, my rapping. It's always been like a key thing for me. It has to be like your story. You know how you put it out there. You know, you can exaggerate or whatever it is. You know, and just play on words and stuff like that. You know. But it has to be your story. That's been the thing about me. So like, even that thing was, I was going through like a phase, you know, of like trying to prove myself, you know, or trying to prove everybody else around me. But then, as soon as I started growing musically, I figured that I don't have to do that. You know, this is not about proving everybody else. This is about proving myself. You know, and telling my story.
I mean, then I mean, you've gotten to a point that your story has gotten you to a place where you're fairly a new artist, you know. You gotten you a place where you collaborating with Ferg. I mean, how organic was that, you know?
Well, that was like, I mean, for me it was a dope experience, right? It's even funny how everything like worked out that night. Earlier that day, someone had told me that, yo, we were playing Ferg your music, and he said he digged it. But I thought it was also one of those things, you know, like, oh, okay, cool, you know, whatever. We get to Capsule, I did my thing, I performed, whatever, but we never got to like interact, like cross part. So I left, you know, and I actually wanted to go home. I was like, I'm gonna go home, man. You know? I'm tired. I usually go home after like the shows and stuff like that. So the people I was with, you know, they're like, nah, let's go to the club, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool, no doubt. Went to the club, just minding my business, chilling with Speedy, you know. Speedy eventually bumped like the songs or whatever. And then that's when he called me over. He's like, yo, you come through here, man. I've been hearing your stuff. I liked it, you know. I'm like, okay, cool, that's dope. And then he's like, yo, take my number, take my email, you know. Let me take yours. Then okay, cool. We passed like, traded like numbers and emails. It's like, okay, cool. Then we chilled and we hung out. Then cool. I just thought that was it. Went home. Then the next day, he sent me a DM saying, yo, send me some shit. That's what he said. Here's my email. Send me his email. Send me his number again. And that's how the conversation started.
So did he record it here or did he go?
No, he recorded wherever he recorded it.
Oh shit, that means you really must have felt it. I mean, you know, could have been in a place like, I'm asking for the shit now, and then when I'm gone, I forget. You know what I mean? Oh, that's dope. Okay, and then with that being said, are we gonna get any videos from that?
Yeah, we should.
And what's the relationship like? Like, I mean, do you feel that like it's a relationship that can grow?
Yeah, it certainly feels like that. It surprisingly enough, it's like I'm saying, like I didn't know what to make out of it, and I wasn't expecting anything, you know. And for me, it's like, okay, damn, you know, like someone like a Ferg, especially in the space that he's in, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to go out of his way you know, to speak to me. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I like I said, I always try like give people the space
Yeah.
and stuff. You know, so for me it's surprising that Ferg, he actually checks up. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, are we gonna shoot this video?
Yeah,
Yo, how are we
yeah.
gonna do this? You know, and so on.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy, it's dope, you know.
Yeah.
But back to the key thing for me, it's the music.
Yeah.
You know, like what we all here to do,
Yeah.
or what brought us here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like really got like our interaction the way it is, and understanding as well. You know, sometimes, like I said, it has to do with character as well. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like when I was with him there at the club, I also found out a few things that he doesn't do, and I was surprised. You know, because he's like offering me drinks, and I'm like, nah, I'm straight. You know,
Yeah.
I actually don't drink. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you don't drink? Yeah, it's like me too. It's like, oh, here's some water. I'm like,
Yeah,
alright,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And I didn't know he doesn't drink.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about drinking. You know, you asked me about the lean and everything else. You know, you say you hang around a lot of friends that
No,
drink lean.
I'm playing. Nah. None of my friends are like. None of my friends are hectic. They don't really like do like drugs or anything like that.
What's your thoughts though on lean? I mean, it's a big conversation. Smashers had a feeling about it because Casper tweeted something like, you know, guys that do lean. I don't know what Casper said, but like clearly, like Smashers felt some type of way. You know, what are your thoughts on lean or just any type of drug? Generally?
Look, everybody has their drug.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whether it being that girl, you know, whatever.
Or those girls.
Or those girls, or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah.
Everybody has like their thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and for me, it just happens to not be that. You know,
Yeah.
that's. It's a preference thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their thing. You
Yeah,
know, their
yeah.
thing that works for them.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like lean, weed, you know,
Yeah.
liquor. They don't work for me, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm much more like easier with liquor than all the other things. You know, they
Yeah.
just don't work for me. Like how
Yeah.
I react to them is not
Yeah, yeah.
how I'd like to react to
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already kind of like pace yourself with the way you move. I just don't know how slower weed or syrup will make you, because already your moves are very much like it's not organic. Your slick is not organic. Already you move like that, so you know, I'm just saying, you know. But like, you know, for me, I relate with that. I mean, I also don't drink, I also don't smoke, I also believe that my high is myself. You know, nothing. Everything for me is like, it's 100% me. It's me juice. You know, I need to be able to define me and the other shit. You know what I mean?
My enemies gotta choose. Whoa, man, we buy it out.